Today we're converting the 124 to run on E85. Cue the intro. What's going on, folks? Eddie here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we're converting the 124 to run on E85. Now, I know some of you will be slightly concerned about what running E85 will do to the stock fuel system, but rest assured, it will be fine. First thing we're going to do is we're going to install a set of E85 fuel injectors, and then we're going to make sure the car is running the correct type of oil. Now, I know we're going to need a new fuel pump down the road, but for the power levels we're working with right now and the size of turbo in the car, we will be fine. All right, let's go put this car on some corn. We're at 24 Braid Street in New Westminster at the Flying Pig. This is the only place you can get E85 in the Lower Mainland. Now, it can be a little bit intimidating when there's only one gas station that supplies the fuel that you want, but it's well worth making that sacrifice. So why you want to run E85? If you're running high boost, it is basically insurance for your engine. Now, you don't get as much mileage, and depending on where you live, it might cost a bit more than pump gas. But if you want to make power, and you want to make power reliably, and you don't want to necessarily jump to the stage of building an engine, E85 is the answer. Hello, engine. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is get the gasoline out of the tank. We're gonna do that by disconnecting the fuel rail, and we're just gonna pump the fuel straight into an empty jerry can. So we'll start with that. All right, so we got all the gas out. Now it's time to get the fuel injectors themselves out. Now they're a little bit crowded under the hood by a lot of plastic. Thanks, Fiat. But once we get the plastic and the vacuum lines out of the way, we'll have free access to the fuel rail and we can get the injectors in. So yeah, let's get started. So you know what? Actually, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna disconnect the battery just to be safe. So if you guys want to know anything about any of the parts that are in the car, just go down here and you'll find links to everything that we've used. you're gonna do this, it's good to have some band clamps on hand because you are going to be breaking some of the factory clamps and you cannot do backup. I wish I could throw this on the ground right now. If I didn't need it, I would. That's just there to hold on that piece of plastic. Another thing I wish I could throw away. Look at that intake manifold. That's the goofiest intake manifold I've ever seen. Look at that thing. It's like all bent on a funny contoured angle, running around other parts in the car, and it is tiny. The volume in that thing is smaller than the 500s for sure. That is a smaller intake manifold, categorically. It starts here, I think it ends there. That's the end of it. There's no more intake manifold. In terms of thickness, well, you can see the throttle body right there. That is one tiny intake manifold. So you know what? You delete the black PCB system and you have all this, yeah, you know what? If you get rid of that box, you'll be able to fit in a bigger intake manifold. In fact, I think we'll probably end up having to do that. I don't think that intake manifold will support what we're trying to do. I don't think we have a choice. Bingo.
You got it? I was gonna say, this one should work too.
So that's the fuel rail, and this is one of the stock injectors. Okay, so this is an OEM injector. This is an ATP E85 injector. The first thing you'll notice is that for some reason, ATP has used a shorter tip injector for the E85. Now, this is from a 124, and I've confirmed that the 500 uses the same injector at the same tip length. So this is a little bit odd to me, but this is still the injector we're going to use. Now you can see that they're extremely similar. The bodies of them are almost identical. It's just the tips that really look different. But anyhow, normal fuel, E85. You got your eyes there? Awesome. We're gonna give it a little bit of gas. Alright, so this is the first test drive with the E85. Let's see how she does. And I wish I could show the internet smells. E85 smells so different. Has like a sweet smell. No, same thing.
17.8 is the highest it seems. Yeah.
You know what that means though? That means there is another 10 pounds of boost that can be dialed out of this car.
It pulls pretty good.
Yeah, it feels good. So that's it, the car's on E85. It really doesn't seem too much different. It feels a little bit smoother, but I wouldn't really say there's any other differences. Anything I might think I'm feeling, I'm gonna count that as placebo effect for now. But the car does feel really strong. The bad start when the E85 first went in the car, that was my fault. I should have primed the fuel pump before trying to start the car. It's still fine, but that's why the car started poorly at the very start. Now, you're probably wondering why I haven't done anything with the oil. Well, that's because there's really not much to do. So my oil was changed very recently, and it's a full synthetic oil. Now, a proper full synthetic oil is relatively resistant to any of the effects of the E85 to begin with. The one thing you really need to do when you convert to E85 is change your oil more frequently, and that's the key piece. The reason you need to do this is something called fuel dilution, and that is the process where E85 can break down the oil. Now, as long as you are more diligent with your oil changes, this is not a problem. I will change my oil typically every 4,000 to 5,000 kilometers, which is anywhere from 2,500 to 3,000 miles off the top of my head. So it's really not that big a deal. You just don't want to neglect your oil changes. Okay, and now it's time for the draw for the windshield washer fluid reservoir. Drum roll, please. All right, so we are using YouTube random comment picker at commentpicker.com to select the winner. All right, so the winner is Must Climb. Must Climb, leave a comment in the bottom. I will get in contact with you and we will get you your washer fluid reservoir. Congratulations. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time when we do something else to the car. Later.